The most popular gun in Call of Duty history, the M4. Just like any other weapon in Warzone, the M4 could be an absolute beam or it could be a real letdown, and that all comes down to how you're building it. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how you want to build the M4 for a long range weapon, a hybrid weapon, and a real aggressive movement weapon. So with that being said, let's hop on over and get building. Starting it off with the long range build for the M4, we have the optic. We are going to be using the Schlager 3.4x, super clean optic for those long range engagements. Now I do like having it on far because of the visual recoil that it's going to reduce, but if you do have a hard time seeing in those gunfights, close is super good as well. It just has a little bit more visual recoil, but if you don't mind that and you want to see a little bit more in the gunfight, throw on close. That really doesn't matter. And over here on the left side, we have ADS speed and flinch. I maximize ADS speed. I really don't notice too much flinch at these gunfights, so I don't have to worry about that at all and just want to max out my ADS. Moving on over to the barrel here, we have the high tower 20-inch barrel, another great attachment for long range. We have bullet velocity, damage range, recoil control. Hipfire actually is whatever, but this is really going to help you out in those long range engagements with the bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil control. Over here to the left, we have recoil steadiness up to 27, and down low we have damage range to 0.10 inches. Now heading on over to the muzzle, we have the Harbinger D20, another insane attachment that you do need to use for this long range build. Because of the bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil smoothness, again, every suppressor pretty much increases that. There's a few that is only for recoil, but this is going to increase that bullet velocity and damage range, which is massive for this gun. Over to the left here, we have 81 ounces into recoil smoothness, and then down low, we're going to increase the bullet velocity even more and put it into 52 inches. Next up, this is a massive attachment for this gun as well, the FTAC Ripper 56, the best grip for this gun. It's going to increase our aim and idle stability, which is nice because we do have a scope on it, so it helps us out a lot. Hipfire accuracy, again, we don't really care about that. What we are really looking at here is the aim and idle stability and recoil stabilization. Left side here, we have 44 up to recoil stabilization, and even more aim and idle stability into 14 inches towards aim and idle stability. And then down to our final attachment, which is the 60 round magazine. The 45 is not enough. I highly recommend the 60 because we are taking those long range gunfights and you do a lot less damage at long range, but the 60 round gets the job done. Now to go over to the highlights of this weapon, we're going to be giving this weapon 5 points for range. We're going to be looking at 5 points in recoil, but the movement side of this weapon is going to go down to a 1 because this gun is really not too agile. You feel like a tank when you hold it, but if you match this up with a nice aggressive submachine gun, that's really what you're going to be going after because this thing beams at long range, but is super slow for those close engagements. Next up is the hybrid M4. Great at medium range. You can use it at close. It's going to be a lot less agile than our movement build, but it does get the job done at close and medium range. Starting it off, we have the optic, the SZ Recharge DX. We're going to tune this to all the way close. Again, personal preference. And then over here on the left, we have ADS speed fully maxed out. Now going over to the muzzle, we are kind of toning it down from the Harbinger D20. We're going to go Echoless 80 because it's a lot lighter and you do feel a little more agile with this, but it excels at that medium range. Into our tuning, we have 86 towards recoil smoothness and 45 into bullet velocity. Down low, again, we have the FTAC Ripper 56 because it is all around the best for recoil. We're going to tune that into recoil stabilization. And down low, we have the 23 inches into aim walking speed. Next up, we have ammunition. This is going to increase our bullet velocity for this weapon and decrease the recoil as well. Our tuning is going to be 4.94 into bullet velocity, and then we're going to actually take away a little bit of damage because this is for medium range, right? We're going to put it into 38 towards recoil smoothness. And then again, magazine 60 round mag, crucial for this weapon. And now overall stats for range, we're going to give this a 3 because it is for that mid range. The recoil, we're going to give this thing a 4 actually because it's a really nice steady recoil that you don't really have to worry about. And for movement, we're also going to give this a nice little 3. Here you guys have it. That is the M4 hybrid build. And here we are with the final M4 build. This is the M4 movement build. Let's start it off here with the stock. We have the Tempest P80 Strike Force. That's going to help us out with our sprint speed, aim walking speed, crouch movement speed, and ADS speed. Over onto tuning here, we have 335 into ADS speed. And then down low, we have 116 into aim walking speed. Next up, we're going to go into rear grip. We're going to go into the Phantom grip. This is going to help us out with sprint to fire speed and ADS speed. Now over to the tuning, we have 32 into ADS speed. And then 16 into sprint to fire speed. Now because we're getting a little aggressive with this gun and we are going to be close range, the 45 round mag does work on it because it's going to help us out with that movement speed. But if you seem to be running out of ammo really quick and not being able to finish those downs or going for that second person, you can throw on the 60. It's going to decrease your ADS speed and movement speed a little bit, but it is still super good on it. Next up, we have the underbarrel, which is the Edge 47 grip. We're going to step away from the same grip we're using on the hybrid and long range just because this has a little bit more mobility to it. In tuning, we have recoil stabilization up to 44 and aim walking speed into 22 inches. And our last attachment we're going to be using here is the FJX Fulcrum Pro on the muzzle. This is going to help us out with some vertical and horizontal recoil control. Tuning here is going to be 36 into recoil stabilization and 21 into recoil control. Here we have a super fun, really agile movement M4 build. If you're wanting it for like a sniper support, if you just love the M4 and you want to get a little aggressive with it, great build for it. Now to go into the overall ratings for this build, we have range. That's going to be sitting at about a 2 because this is built for those close range engagements. Recoil control, we're actually going to put this up to a 3 because it is still very controllable, but not as controllable as the hybrid and the long range build. And then onto the movement points, we're going to give this thing 5 points. This thing is just so fun and super agile. You can just buzz around on a Sheikah, on Vondel, on any map you want. This thing is great if you want to use it as a sniper support as well. Very nice, really agile, really aggressive gun.